One try, gotta get it right. On time when we living life. Too fine, wanna hit it twice, 3 times.
So basically, if you're new to the channel, my name is Juan Lasso and I'm a high school runner from New York. And this is how I negative split a 154-800. I personally like watching these videos on YouTube when I see good times in the mile, the 2 mile, the 800. And I like to see track athletes talk about how they went through the race, what they were thinking beforehand, and what they were thinking during the race, and what they were thinking after the race. So because I like watching those videos, I decided to make my own video. A 154 is by no means one of the fastest times you'll ever see in high school. You'll see 148s, 149s. I think the national high school record is a 147s, but I believe a 154 is still a pretty decent time, especially negative splitting a 154. The 800 is one of the fewer events where you don't want to run your first lap slower than your last one. It's usually your first lap is faster than your second lap. But in this race, it didn't happen to be like that. The race was set up in a way that I had to go out in the second lap and take it from the front and try to just close the gap between me and the standard that I was supposed to hit. This race was our county meet, which is also our state qualifying meet. And first place automatically goes to state. Second place goes if they have the standard. And the standard changes every year, but last year the standard was a 154.84. So heading into the race, I was the 4th seed in the county behind Isaiah Claiborne, Elijah Claiborne, Nick Crociata. Isaiah had ran a 151, Elijah had ran a 152, Nick Crociata had ran a 155, and my best at the time was a 156 mid. So heading into the race, I wasn't really sure what my chances were of going to states, but heading into it, I knew that if I wanted to go to states, I would have to run a 2-second PR. I would have to beat Nick Crociata. I knew that my chances of actually getting a place for the state meet were somewhat low. I was super nervous. I'm the type of runner that doesn't get nervous before a race. I kind of just go into it knowing that I've trained, I put the hours in, I put the training in, I put mental preparation in. So I don't really worry when race time comes around, but this time was different. I was doing my strides out before the race began. I was shaking. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to calm down. I had never experienced this before. I felt like I was gonna do bad. I felt tired, but I finished doing my strides. I talked to my dad. He tells me to calm down, to just take it easy and go through the race because I've already put the hours of work in and all these things that I already knew, but I completely forgot because I was so nervous. And then that's when I get on the line, which is where the video will start. So here you'll see that I'm the 3rd from the left. First lane is Isaiah Claiborne, second lane is Nick Crociata, and third lane is me. Fourth lane is Tom Cerrito, a sophomore who ran a 157 at the time. That was his best at the time. So the race goes off. I'm not in the lead. I'm a little boxed in, but I'm not really worried because I don't want to be in the lead. I don't want to take the race out because I know Nick Crociata usually takes it out pretty hard. So the race goes off. First 200 meters is just kind of a breeze. You'll see that the first lap actually is kind of slow. And again, reminder, if I'm going to take second place, which means I only have to beat Nick Crociata, I have to run a 154.84 or under in order to do that. And my PR at the time was a 156 mid, so I had to get a 2-second PR. So here I'm coming into the last 100 meters of the first lap, and I go into the inside because Nick gives me the inside lane. I take the lead because I know that I have to speed this thing up if I want to get under that standard. First lap is a 58 mid, and from here I see a 58. I know that's a 156 pace, and I know that I can't do that. So I try to speed it up. Nick Crociata tries to pass me right here. He tries to make a move. He goes right next to my shoulder. I don't let him. I push a little bit farther and stay in the lead. I speed it up. I believe this 200 meter was a 27, I think, this 200 meter split. So now we're heading into the last 200 meters. Isaiah Claiborne is sitting in 3rd place, not worried about the race because he has an insane kick. He knows that he can outkick anyone, so he's not worried about this. And even if he gets second, he can still run on the 154.84. So we're heading into the final stretch. Nick Crociata passes me with a fast move to my right. He passes me so fast that he didn't give me time to react. He passes me, but I know that he always slows down towards the end, so I wasn't crazy worried. So I go to my arms, I try to keep form, and I kind of just push through. And I run a 154.80. I run 0.04 seconds below the standard. I barely made it. At the time, I actually thought the standard was 154.6. So I saw the results on the board and I was devastated. I was so sad because I thought I hadn't made it. But turns out a few minutes later, my coach comes to confirm that the standard was actually 154.84 and that I had ran under that. That's when I was extremely happy. I've worked hard all season and it came down to this race and this race only, and I got it. And this was my goal the entire season. This is what I wanted to do. this is what my entire training block was for, because outdoor season was not as easy for me to go to states as it was indoor season in the 1,000 meters. But I ended up getting second place and ran under the state standard, which meant that I went to states. So the next weekend I went to the state meet with Elijah Claiborne, who, by the way, if you look at the video, and I'll scroll it back and I'll put it in the video here, down there, I think, you'll see that he dabs at the end. So right here, he dabs. So long story short, I was coming into this race not knowing whether I would get the state standard, whether I would get second place, whether I would even be in the top 3. I ended up getting second place, I ended up hitting the state standard, and I ended up going to states, which was awesome. And that's basically the whole thing. That's basically how the race went beforehand, during the race, and after the race. And if you want to watch more videos like this, and if you're in any way, shape, or form interested in watching a runner commentate on his times, whether they're fast or slow, let me know, because I also run a 4:17 mile and I run 2:30,000 indoors, and I have videos of both of them. I don't have times of this year as a senior because I've been injured the entirety of winter track, and I'm just getting back into training for spring track. But yeah, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, if you're a runner and you like my content and you want me to make more running content, leave a like, leave a comment, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. Just keep up with my social media. You'll see updates of every post that I make. So if you're interested in my channel and watching my videos, you can watch them at any time that I upload.
No one knows the way but your damn self. People try to lend a hand but they can't help. You gotta pick and choose. We are wearing different shoes. Be a bigger